What if Survivor wasn't just a reality TV show, but a full D&D one-shot your table could play tonight? Today, we're brewing Survivor into a complete one-shot, breaking down the design, the drama, and the decisions that make it work at the table. Ever wonder how to turn reality TV into a reality at your table? We'll show you how to do it. After all, this is how we brew it. Homebrew is where the heart is, and it's where dungeon masters, murder hobos, dice goblins, and chaos gremlins come together to turn big ideas into unforgettable adventures. So how do you take that spark, a setting, a villain, a mechanic, and turn it into something that actually works at the table? It's simple. We brew it. We've got 6 flavorful categories to walk through, designed to help you build campaigns that capture the feel of your favorite worlds and IPs. Today, we're starting with Survivor, and I'm very excited about that. But let's go through our categories. There's B, base build. What are the core components? The must-haves. R, the resonance and vibe. This is where we make our poetic hearts sing. What's the tone, theme, and details that will help this feel right? And where are they stranded in the middle of nowhere, Taylor? Where? E, extra froth. What does it makes this wildly fun? What's the spice or the razzle dazzle? W, weird for us. What that strange little twist you'd never find on D&D Beyond. These are small details for us and us alone. I, inciting quest. Every good campaign needs a reason to leave home, and this one's pretty simple. They're gonna need to survive. Woo, woo, woo. And T, threat level. Let's talk danger. Who or what is the big bad, and what's their challenge rating, narratively and mechanically, and how is it Jeff Probst? So exciting. All right, Taylor. Let's kick it off with our base build, but I do have to ask, how much of Survivor have you ever watched in your life?
I've actually seen an entire season of Survivor. It was a long time ago, but quick little anecdote, fun fact. When I was in high school, one of our teachers who loves Survivor would use the game as a way to and as an incentive to get us to do our homework. So every homework assignment and every test, everything we did in that class was a challenge. And if you missed a certain number of things or fell below a threshold in your grade, your name was you were voted off the island, basically. And then I think every month we could vote people off the island or back on. So it was a weird, it was really fun. And so because of that, in high school, I binged a season of Survivor because I'm I got to get in this teacher's head so that I can actually pass this class. Oh, man. So
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this show back in the day that was Survivor, but for kids, and it was on Animal Planet.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that show? What was it called?
I don't remember, but I saw trailers for that, and I was I gotta be on this show one day. Obviously, I wasn't, but
it was on Animal Planet, bro.
I remember.
It was called Endurance.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, dude. And it was
I was gonna say Perseverance, but I'm that's not what it is.
No, yeah. Oh my God, I remember this one. Endurance. I remember this so much. And I remember the TV show host, and oh man, what was his name? I'm looking. He's not Glenn Powell. That's what I'm thinking about right now.
Glenn Powell?
It's not. It was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed man, though. It's a blonde-haired, J.D. Roth. That was his name.
I could see Glenn Powell running a kids reality TV show.
Yeah, kind of, right?
That would be kind of fun.
Wow.
Glenn Powell, put that on your resume.
I'm a big Survivor fan. I think Survivor is, in theory, my best or most favorite reality TV show ever. I don't watch a ton of TV as much anymore since I'm just busy. But in general, that type of show is my favorite kind of thing. It's got all the drama and the intrigue. There's a game going on, which is very exciting for me, right? So, huge fan of it. So, Taylor, let's talk about our categories here. Let's start with the base build. What is essential for making a Survivor D&D one-shot?
Yes, trials, challenges, all of the above. Endurance. No, I'm just kidding.
Endurance? Yes.
We're just going to drop that word as much as we can. No, truthfully, I do think it's comes down to two things, at least in my opinion, is the idea of survival and that actually feeling like a thing. I mean, when you play Survivor, these people are living on this island. They're not just there and then they get flown to a hotel. As far as I know. But it's from what I've seen, they live on this island and they have to figure it out. So I feel for any sort of D&D one-shot surrounded around Survivor, it has to be survival, like the feeling of actually surviving has to be important, mechanically, but both vibes-wise. And that feels essential. But then also challenges, like things that actually push you, to do the thing you want to do. Now, I guess my question to you is, if a Survivor is a D&D one-shot, is it a game show? Like, is it an actual, like, is the one-shot a game show like style, or is it actual survival?
Mm-hmm. So I think that's something we should discuss for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that would make it essential for me overall is the ability to have like there's those moments where different players are obviously just playing it up for the cameras, right?
That's what I'm saying.
And you have those little cutaway interviews and all of that. So to me, that's essential for Survivor. Like if it was just like I don't need to watch like Bear Grylls in the middle of the forest doing his thing, right? Like that's not essential, right? Like okay, sure, there's some fun elements to it, but of watching those types of shows, like I'm not really into that type of TV, but like I understand the appeal of it, right? And I don't really care how these people build their shelter, right? Like I care that they're going to build their shelter in order to play the games later, and then there's some steamy rivalries and romance and like intrigue and like we need the tribal council at the end where it's like, all right, like you're on off the island and like all those things, right? Like those are the types of things that I want. So I think that means a game show has to happen. It doesn't mean that they don't actually have to survive though. Like for like a D&D, I think it really depends on your group, right? Like if your group is really in on Survivor, then you might the game show premise alone might be enough, right? And you have some sort of prize or thing that makes it worth it all the while for them as a party, right? Like, hey, you get a really fancy, rare, magical item, or you get a lot of money, or whatever, right? But it could be like a little more Hunger Gamesy, where it's like, oh well, you have to do this Survivor show, but if you don't, it's a little deadly,
Yes, sorry. I'm gonna calm down, but I got really excited because that's what came to my head.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. What
literally, I was like, Kyle, I was like, no. As you said it, you're like, when you were talking about the game show aspects of it, and you were saying, they might not necessarily have to survive. I was like, oh, well, I think what might make this really cool and fascinating is if it is, in the world of D&D, we go on quests, we do things, whatever. But I think what could make it really fun is that, like, if they are forced to do a game show, if they are forced to survive and compete, almost like in Hunger Games, but this is a situation that they don't necessarily want to be in, which I think will drive the players to want to actually like get to the end so that they could get out, Right. I think that would be very fascinating.
Okay. So I'm going to skip ahead to the inciting quest, right? Because one of my favorite things that you get to encounter in Baldur's Gate is where you head up to, and you're walking around, you like cross a bridge and you meet the like devil demon dude. I forget his name. Is it like Raphael or something? Or am I just being like...
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Yeah, that guy. We just ran into this in one of our campaigns, Taylor, where one of us was not free and everybody else is free. So it's like, well, what can we do to kind of make this a fun time and still have something that will kind of advance the goals or plot or just get to play together? This could even be something that has continuity where like, hey, like 4 or 5 of you like are walking down the road and the other person's not there, or they're in a dream and and you just get pulled into a dream world where this is happening, so that it has some consequence, but obviously it doesn't have permanent consequence either, but it still has some stakes, right?
Yeah.
Then that allows you to have a host. The demon is, or the devil, or the whatever is the Jeff Probst / JD Roth.
Jeff Probst is the bad guy. We knew it. We called it.
We knew it, everybody.
We called it from the beginning.
We knew it. So we've got that, and then you've got your premise of how everyone's there, etc. And this also is a situation where if you don't have a campaign going on, it's just a random one-shot, easy stuff. It's like, hey, who's your character? It doesn't matter where they're from. They're showing up and they're doing this and they're there and they've got a backstory. Then I would say, okay, we've got the inciting quest. Why do they not just leave and quit? Which would be, what are they playing for?
There's the idol, right? The thing that keeps you from, being voted off the island.
Right.
I think we can kind of take that a step further in the way of like, maybe the thing they win is an NPC that they care about or one of the players who is like, if this is something you do in the middle of a campaign because somebody's gone, maybe the person that is gone is like tied up and is like, hey, you win your friend back. Like if you actually play this game.
Oh, that's
like
pretty
that
cool.
would be fun,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but if it's a one shot, it's like that's probably not going to be a thing. So that's why I always go to NPCs, because you can easily throw a little goblin buddy in there that you like meet at the very beginning, maybe even before you jump into the show, and it's like, oh my god, this is our best friend that we've been together with for a while. And then immediately he is captured and becomes the guy you have to save. I think it's really easy to fall for a fun little goblin that you just met for 5 seconds. Especially if his name is something like Hamburger or something crazy. Yeah. So that could be a thing. And like you said, there's always magical item, like the Sword of Death or whatever. Like,
Sword of Death.
I don't know why I can't think of magical items in D&D right now.
Right. Well, to do a little bit of like world building on top of this, like, and this is a little extra froth type stuff for me.
Yeah.
It should be a game show that is for the entertainment of the 9 hells, right?
Yeah.
And so there should be some great prize at the end, right? But the great prize could be to rescue your friend. But I would love at the very end of the one shots, rescue your friend, or here's this thing that you've always wanted, right? Make them make a choice. And then, of course, if it's their friend, no matter what they choose, there's got to be some devilish trick, etc. Perhaps a boss fight to fight the guy and escape the dream world, etc.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's really good.
Okay, so as we go through these categories, we've jumped around a little bit. What is going to make this the right vibe?
I think that reality TV show, like, weird thing of like confessionals and like the cutaways and the weird moments, I think would be really fun. I think a part of the vibe is like playing Survivor music, but also like it is reality TV like TV, so you could always have like cute sound cues, like when someone does something and it's like the weird violin thing,
like,
or like the maracas that's like like when they do something weird, like sneaky. So I think that would be kind of fun, but like vibe wise, just like it can be light and funny, even though the circumstances could be dangerous, of like, we're trying to save our friend, or we're trying to get this item because this like demon like threw us in this game. I think the thing about Survivor that is interesting and fun to watch is the drama of it, and how people can kind of be stupid in the sense of you're trying to survive, but you're also like, I want to kick this guy out because he said that my face is ugly. And it's like, girl, you need to find what you're going to eat tomorrow. Like, that's what you really need to do. So I think giving them those like the players the chances to do that is the right vibe. Even if like there's an NPC who really literally follows you around with a camera the whole time, and you can like cut away to the GM and just be like, and then like get like a moment, that would be kind of fun.
Well, okay, so one thing that I think would be really fun and it would help mechanicalize some of this stuff well. Because if you have a bunch of experienced players, you may not need any of these mechanics.
Yeah.
But if you've got a group who's a little bit more new to kind of encourage them to get in the right path, I would almost have a bonus mechanic here of like entertainment value.
Yeah.
Right? And then like notoriety. I don't know if you've ever done anything like this, Taylor.
Hilarious.
But basically, like, there are people on reality TV who stick around because they're so entertaining and they're fan favorites that they just stay. And the show manipulates things so that they can kind of stick around, but it still feels organic to the viewer unless you're paying very close attention, right? And this is like, I feel like the most famous examples of these are like when you do like American Idol or those types of things. Not that you have any experience with that, where it's like this person is just such a fan favorite that, oh look, they somehow magically got enough votes to stay, you know,
exactly.
like, or whatever. That sort of thing I would want to track. So I would want like, hey, how entertaining is this person? So like, if there's an incentive for you to be like wild and interesting in the like cut around interviews or to create all the drama, right? And then your notoriety is a counterbalance to that, or like your reputation is a counterbalance to that. So like, if everyone likes you, then you're gonna stick around. So there's two ways to stick around, right? To be loved or to be very entertaining. And usually those things are probably on a spectrum, because like usually those entertaining people are the people who everyone hates the most.
No,
right?
Literally.
On the actual island. So I would like to do that as a spectrum of respect versus entertainment value, and kind of have that divide. But that would really help me help mechanicalize the ideas of Survivor into the game itself.
Yeah, I would almost say, if we're gonna like name them, I would say like maybe there's like a fame meter.
Yeah.
Of just like how, like, cause what you were saying about like how entertaining you are. You can call it like an entertainment meter, but like fame meter or entertainment meter. And then I wonder if the respectable thing, like wanting you around, is more of like, I don't want to say morality meter, but like that's the closest I can get to it. Of like
morale, like as in not morality, but as in morale, as in how much everyone, as in like the morale of the group almost. Yeah.
Maybe I was more thinking of like in terms of like kind of like alignment, truly, of like how good you are versus how bad you are. Like if people think you're bad, they don't want you around. But if people think you're good, they're like, hey, you can stick around.
That's true.
But I think morale is also maybe that's a different way to go about it, of like how much do you actually make the group feel like they're doing a good job, you know, versus how much do you bring things down.
How about we do a morale itty meter?
Love.
A morality meter.
And then like fame,
and fame meter. And you have those two metrics. And I think what that would do is like, if you have a high morality meter, you'd be able to like get bonuses to convince people to do things, and like people are gonna have to roll against that number in order to actually vote you off the island, so to speak, right? And the fame meter will have this like counterbalance of that. So maybe like during voting times to like vote people off, right? You would have the individual players or individual NPCs roll against the morality meter to vote you off. They want to vote you off. And then how would the fame meter help keep you around?
The morality thing is more so, I think, to your point, for the players around you. But I think the fame meter is like, oh, you're like, the big bad is like, I got to keep you around. Like you're making this show fun, you know?
Right.
So him handing you boons to stay alive, basically.
Yeah, you know what? So like I think if you move up the fame meter, I would give that player a fame like token, right? Which is like we would want to make it like super inspiration, you know?
Yeah.
So like just reroll stuff, but also get a bonus, and then reroll stuff with a bonus, or to like, you know, like call in a big favor of some kind. You got these tokens. I would say that's how you earn your fame. Okay, nice.
And you could do it. Oh, sorry, this is a totally random idea, but because we've been playing a lot of Mario Party, you could do a fun thing where like you as a DM, you have kind of like a chart or a table, like a list of some like bonuses that could be, like you said, like super inspiration, but also things that could affect the other players negatively if that player decided to use it. Like, you know, like there's the common example in Super Mario Party of the creepy dice. Right. So if you are good, you know, not good, but if you are really entertaining, if your fame meter is like you're going up and the big bad sees you as entertaining, does he give you, as the DM, do you give your player the option of, hey, do you want this like super inspiration that only you can use? Or do you want to give one of your friends disadvantage during one of the games?
Yeah.
Like, you get to choose. And that makes the drama that the guy actually wants to see happen.
That is even better, Taylor. And
that's fun.
That's so much fun. Now, we also have to add Mario Party to our
we should do Mario
list
Party.
Because that sounds amazing. I really want to do a Mario Party one shot. But man, well, we'll add it to the calendar. I'm going to write it down before I forget to. Mario Party one shot. Okay, so, amazing. I would have so much fun.
That'd be so fun.
You got a Zatar. The penniless Zatar player, you know?
Hilarious.
Okay, so any extra froth or weird for us little stuff? We've already kind of mentioned a bunch of these.
Oh, well, I think extra froth, if you wanted to, you could easily split the team. You could split your party into 2 teams. I think that'd be kind of funny. You don't have to do it at the beginning, but you could like throw that in there at some point, especially if the big bad thinks they're becoming too friendly. You're like, okay, well, now you have to compete against each other, you know? So that could be really fun just to sprinkle in there. Mix it up.
Well, and the formal, sometimes when you form formal teams in Survivor, like it's such a fun moment because there's these cliques that have been forming and the clique gets divided in half.
Yeah.
And that's just like so exciting. Like, oh yes, like now there's all these little things. Are they gonna keep loyal? Are they not gonna stay loyal? It's great stuff. Especially if they get you give someone the power to choose teams. It's like so great. I think then the only things would be we need the actual structure and anatomy of the session itself because if you've never watched Survivor, then you like have no idea what we're talking about when we say like councils and voting and all this other stuff.
Yes.
So basically from the structure itself, this would be the inciting quest a little bit more made out, right? Is the party will get wrapped into a game show for the 9 hells, by some sort of otherworldly entity, probably a demon of some kind or a devil. And a devil makes more sense, I think, because they're lawful evil. And they get put in the reality TV show. They're going to be stuck on some remote location. You get to decide where that is, but the easiest answer is an island. And they're competing for a great prize. Either that's rescuing their friend or an NPC, or perhaps it's competing for a magical item, or both, and you can decide. And then basically you'll go through a series of challenges to determine who gets to stay on the island over and over. So you need a cast of a certain number of people, and then they just get eliminated over time with game show challenges over and over and over. And usually the challenges involve sometimes just like games that are like pure physical strength and endurance, right? Like some of them times it's like I think they literally just did like a flex arm hang out in the ocean, or like sometimes it's just like, all right, how long can you plank for whatever. But trying to make it visually interesting, even just like standing on a platform in the middle of the ocean and then balancing, right, for as long as you possibly can until you fall off. And like that is actually very difficult because the waves are constantly doing, so you're constantly doing this, and it's a lot of work on your core. But it's mostly a test of endurance, hence the kids show name.
Endurance.
So like there's like that, but sometimes it's like playing tic-tac-toe against each other, or sometimes it's like, these other more, just like gamey things. So let's design 1 or 2 challenges we can give, and then we can give them, and then after that, basically, everyone gets a chance to hang out and talk, and then they get to go to the council at the end of the episode, I think most of the time, and say, all right, here's who we're voting off this today, because we need to vote off at least one person every time, basically. And you keep voting people off, and then eventually someone survives all the way to the end. So, Taylor, with that like quest structure, what is 1 or 2 games we can make the players play?
They have to play Jenga in real life. That's
great.
Playing Jenga in real life in any D&D game is fun, and you can't argue with me, people. It is too good. And trust me, if you haven't played, that's how you know you don't think it's fun. You gotta do it. Playing Jenga in a D&D game is crazy fun. So they definitely have to play Jenga, and they can narrate it however they want. You could throw mechanics in there and be like, hey, if you roll a dexterity check, like get a 15 or higher, you get to pull 2 or something, you know? But yeah, like Jenga, great. Another one, I'm trying to think of something physical, but I don't want to be like, yeah, make your players do push-ups. Like, that sounds crazy.
Yeah, the problem with the complicated part of doing the challenge with a D&D game where there's no physical pieces required, like kind of by definition, you know? It's like, okay, well, how do you make a physical challenge like actually challenging aside from just like a series of 1 or 2 rolls, right?
Yeah.
And that's the part that's quite difficult. Like the Jenga stuff is actually pretty simple and fun, right?
Yeah.
And then like if you like fail your checks, you have to pull like bad pieces to pull. And you can't just pull like, you know, like the easy center pieces or whatever.
You have to pull like under a certain line or something.
Yeah. Stuff like that makes it a little bit more interesting. That's always really fun for it. But and Jenga's not that great with like alone, but with the narrative stakes, it actually gets very fun. Anyway, so there's 2 solutions we could probably go with. One would be, okay, let's make the physical challenges something that requires physicality and a little bit of puzzle or intellect. So like, you know, like, oh, you have to play, you know, tic-tac-toe, but you have to, like, there's like playing tic-tac-toe, but you have to kick the soccer ball through the crosshairs or whatever.
I see.
You know, so like, okay, you want to put the X on the top left corner. Well, you have to hit it into the top left corner with your foot and kick the soccer ball there. Like that requires physicality, but it also requires some strategy, right? So it's not just that or before. So like that's a really simple way to go about it.
That's a good one.
The other would be like to come up with a mechanic to make some of these physical challenges a little bit more interesting. But for the sake of simplicity and time, I would say let's maybe create some like tic-tac-toe or like Connect 4 type challenges. I mean, also, if you want to do Connect 4 is pretty great too.
Connect 4 is great. They could also do remember the little paper footballs we used to make out of triangle papers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, you know what? I think let's do that. Paper football is really fun and simple, and you can do it anywhere, and all you have to do is this, right? But if you do good on your physical checks, you get multiple attempts, and if you do bad, you only get 1 or 2. So people can still do it. It's just harder, right? Or like, you know, you roll and you go like this, and then now you have to get like this. You roll poorly, it's like...
That's crazy.
You honestly, can do it right That's awesome. I think that's super great. If you don't know the rules for paper football or how to do it, just look it up online. Really simple to make that happen. That would be some great physical challenges. And of course, if you're playing with a group of people you'll know your play group. So perhaps if your play group is down to do physical challenges, that's great. We just want to make sure everyone can participate. So just make sure you're not like leaving a bunch of people out, you know?
Yes.
We had to do this for TSP Season 2, which is upcoming, where we had some people do some physical stuff where they were shooting some basketballs around, but one of our players was pregnant, so we were not going to make them do that. So I made sure to arrange it in such a way that they didn't have to do it, but they still got to participate anyway. And then the threat level for the villain itself, for the demon, the devil guy, you can just look up a really good stat block for a devil appropriate for your party's level and make sure he's a good big old threat. And you may never fight him. You might never ever do so. He might just be like an antagonist through like intimidation and drama. Or, you know, maybe they will end up fighting him and then you can have that prepared. So like just be prepared for that situation in general if that happens to come up. And you can have a stat block for him overall. And probably the most interesting way to do it, at least I would do it, is that he's way overpowered, but there's a secret thing that you can like take from him or steal from him or whatever, and that he reduces it to being able to be fought by the party all normally. Okay, anyway, let's give a quick recap and then we can wrap this episode. Okay, so to turn Survivor into a D&D one-shot, which is so exciting. You have a devil host, game show host, who pulls the party into a dream world or fantasy reality TV show into the 9 hells. We want to make sure the game show feels like there's survival, but survival isn't the 100% the most important thing. It's survival plus drama. And the winning the prize could be rescuing your friend or NPC. Maybe your friend, literally the player in the party who can't make it that way because scheduling is the true evil monster of D&D forever. Or a powerful magic item. And in fact, you could make them choose. Save your friend, save the item. Which one would you like? And make sure to have some good music drops. Have a morale meter where it's how much the rest of the NPCs like the party and like individuals in the party, and a fame meter where if you gain more and more fame or entertainment value, you earn fame tokens, which are like super inspiration or boons that you can give out to yourself to give yourself bonuses or even to your friend, or you can penalize other players because that's fun. If things get too friendly, consider splitting the party on opposite teams and then run them through how Survivor works, where they show up to a remote place, they have to survive on the island, do a couple survival checks, and then they go through a series of challenges. We had the paper football challenge, we had the actually doing Jenga challenge, and if you don't know where to pick up a Jenga board, just go to any random like thrift shop or like Goodwill, and they probably have Jenga there, and then you can buy it for like $1. Have some Jenga and do some physical challenges, and then they go to a council and they vote who stays on the island, and we determine the winner. All right, Taylor, any final thoughts on Survivor since we did our recap there?
Yeah, final thoughts, and this is just a personal thing. If you vote people out and you get really bored because you're sitting there watching people play the game, DM, make them in charge of who gets more fame and who gets more morality. Because then people are still playing. And I think that's a great idea.
That is a great idea. The other thing I will say is that people in reality TV shows who are voted out always come back.
That's true. That's true.
So I would message that player immediately on like text message or DMs and say, all right, you have one opportunity to come back and sabotage or create some sort of dramatic moment. Be on the lookout for it. You can play your token whenever this happens. And that would be wild. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next episode. So like and subscribe for more content. Bye.
This is how we brew it.
Hey there, losers. Thanks so much for watching our episode. Real quick shout out to our sponsor for this episode, D&T, our first ever sponsor. They make premium tea blends and tumblers that are honestly a little bit too powerful. When I was recording season 2, I put hot water in one of their tumblers, forgot about it, came back a couple hours later, took a sip, and immediately regretted every life choice because it was still hot and it burned my tongue. But it was really delicious. Head over to D&T and use promo code TSP for 15% off for lore-enhancing, game-enhancing tea. Thanks for watching, and catch you in the next episode.
Hey there, just want to shout out to our patrons. Thanks so much for subscribing on Patreon and supporting the show. Thanks to Count Bubba, Fizz, Fedorable Will, Richard, Varner Jr., and Who's Scruffy Looking.